statement to make. You know, recently Parliament enacted the anti-money laundering bill into law, and there are a number of procedures therefore that we need to, a number of steps that need to be taken in order now to fully begin implementing that law. The statement that I'm about to make is in that regard. And today it is a pleasure to be inviting you, ladies and gentlemen, to witness again yet another important milestone in our quest to combat anti-money laundering, as today we will be officially launching the Anti-Money Laundering Advisory Board. The establishment of this advisory board is indeed very critical, because again, without it, it will not be possible to make any further progress in the fight against money laundering. The board that we are constituting today is required to provide guidance on the establishment and making operational of the Financial Reporting Center, which is a critical institution in the fight against anti-money laundering. The first step in this regard is the appointment of a chief executive, who is also a member of this board. Thereafter, the board will be providing guidance in defining the strategic direction of the Financial Reporting Center, including its staffing as well as its vision. Before I continue further, let me remind you all that we have all come a long way in our fights to join the international community in this important fight against money laundering. More specifically, it has taken us a long while before we could come to a consensus on the appropriate legislation that fits our local situation and at the same time meets international standards. We are glad to have eventually surmounted that hurdle, and as I stated earlier, the necessary legislation is now in place. However, having the law now in place, we are also confident that we shall proceed with speed to fully implement this law. The challenge that is before the board that is being officially launched today is, as I said earlier, to appoint the CEO, to set up the Financial Reporting Center, and these are the two primary duties that this board needs to embark on in earnest. We have no doubt about the board's competence, but I want to underscore at this time that we need to move with speed and at the same time assure this board of the full support of ourselves here at the Treasury. We will support the board by providing seconded staff who will assist in the early stages, and it is upon the board to define the strategic vision of the center, including the human and financial resources required to ensure that it meets its objectives. Before I conclude, I'd like to point out that we still have some unfinished business which we must complete before we can actually say we have achieved victory. In addition to making operational the AML law, we need to enact a new legislation with regards to the fight against the financing of terrorism. We don't need anyone to tell us of the critical importance of such a legislation, because we have first-hand experience ourselves of the terrible consequences of terrorism. And in this regard, we feel confident that we shall have a new legislation in a much shorter period than we did the AML law. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very good.